chance to watch the tape, what did you see? What did you like that maybe you didn't like on Saturday? And what did you see that maybe you felt was better in the tape than it looked?
Well, I've been doing this a long time. It's kind of a crazy game. When you look at it, I think it was, the figure was 170 yards passing, 85 yards rushing, and that's, for about 250. And somewhere in the third quarter, I don't know, we look up and they had 100 yards of offense. So, I thought the guys really were playing well. Offensively, it took us a while to get going, but here's the nice thing. We went 3 and out 3 times in a row. So defensively and offensively, we're kind of playing complementary football, trying to get everybody going 100 miles an hour. And sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. So it bought us some time to get the offense kind of going. And, that's it. That's what you try to do. Yeah.
I wanted to ask about, there was a drive, I think it was in either the second quarter or the third quarter, when Jarrell got hit with the 2 penalties on the same play. One of them after the whistle, one of them was for targeting. I was curious, when you watched that play, did you get an explanation for the specifics of which part of the targeting rule that call was made for? And if so, I know you don't want to speak on officiating, but how much of that do you agree with?
Not much. I mean, it's almost like you get the double whammy. I mean, it's like, if there's a violation, does it have to be 2 violations, in essence? So that was my kind of hang up with it, is it seems like you got the double whammy. And, is one of your best players, heading and sitting next to us for the rest of the game. Disappointing. But that's something, I'll certainly have some discussions when that's appropriate. Got to be in a league first, so, because we really have nobody to go to.
You guys held the ball almost triple the amount of time as Toledo, 44 minutes to the clock. What were your takeaways on that stat, given the result?
I could kind of feel it, like with 9:58 on the clock in the second quarter, our offense took the field, went down and scored, and then we get the kick return, and our offense goes right back out on the field and gets a field goal. I mean, defensively, we never got off the bench the last 9:58 of the second quarter. So, you kind of knew, kind of what just transpired. And like I said, in the first quarter, we couldn't get out of our own way. So it was nice that we were playing complementary football, and the defense was taking care of the offense, and then it bought them a little time to get going. So that's what you call complementary football. Sometimes it's one side's doing it and another one's not, and that's where you take care of one another.
Looking at Buffalo specifically, not a team that UMass has faced a ton in the last couple of years. What are sort of the hallmarks of their team, and what specifically are you preparing for on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, obviously Pete Lembo's a new coach. Know him well, he's in New England, spent some time here for sure. And he'll do a good job, bringing that team along for sure. They're very similar, I'd say, to team we just played. So Toledo, I think they run similar style plays. The quarterback has the ability to use his feet, and it will. In looking at him, it's they're a very similar style to the teams. It seems like all the offensive have gone to the spread model, counters with gap schemes. They're a big zone team. Zone right, zone left, pull the guard, pull the tackle, get your counter scheme going. And, obviously very controlled in the throw game. And so, I think it's a good opponent for us because it's a similar style. And, we played against them when we competed with Eastern Michigan. They were very similar to, Toledo, and now, Buffalo kind of follows a similar track. So we're going to see a similar style. Now the quarterbacks are different, but at the same time, he's known for the ability to use his feet. And we're anticipating a controlled passing game with with the run game using multiple backs, and that's what we're thinking we're going to get. Very similar to what we've seen.
And just to follow up on that, going off of a game against Toledo where the running game for Toledo really didn't get much of anything, does that give you, I guess, how proud are you of that effort, specifically controlling the run game?
The bottom line is you're still working the game within the game. So, for example, am I proud of our guys that we defended the run well? Yeah. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. Am I pleased that we held on to the ball that long? Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Now, the ultimate, of course, is to win the game. But at the same time, it's nice to see us improve from week one to give ourselves a better chance for success. And that's the route we're trying to go.
Follow up on that, is that the hardest thing for your guys, to learn how to win the game? In general.
I don't know if it's the hardest in terms of like we don't talk about negativity and losing and we just don't. We just get ready, compete, go get ready to play the game. And I thought we played the game way better than in week one. There's some things that happened in week two where you're going, damn, we're defending the run pretty good. We're possessing the ball really well. Those kind, Tyson's really settled in now that the second quarter's here. It seems like he's getting, we're playing the game. That's really what we're trying to do, is just get the guys to focus on competing and playing the game and letting it rip.
You mentioned Tyson. Is this the best he's played coming back from the injury?
I thought so. I thought I also think he controlled his emotions, especially early in the game. But when he started to hit his stride, you could see it, and good for him.
One of the leaders at Buffalo, Sean Dolak, one of the top tacklers in the country. You guys faced off against him 2 years ago. What does the game plan look like around him?
Well, you gotta those guys you got to make sure you take care of so they don't take care of the game. You know, that's really a big thing. And, you know, in your offensive schemes, you know, you've just got to make sure you do a good job of, you know, zoning, gap scheme, whatever you're doing, you better make sure you're taking care of business and he's involved in that blocking scheme.
I had a chance being on the sideline to watch Coach Zanalato working with the wide receiver group, and it seemed to me that there's a lot of enthusiasm that he brings to that position group in particular. Now in year 2, or season 2, or 3 with him actually, just what does he bring to the coaching staff, and how do you see him and his work with the wide receivers?
I think he's done a very good job with our wide receivers. I think he provides energy, you know, and obviously also that group's, you know, is a live wire group. So it's nice when they have a guy that can settle them down, but also gear them up when the time is right. And I think he does a good job on both ends of that track.
And to follow up on that, I also was able to watch them use the tablet for the first time to break things down immediately after a possession. Just now 2 weeks into the year, has there been any positives, negatives to that technology?
I think there's positives to it. You know, all our coaches and analysts and so forth are involved immensely in it. You know, I'm calling the game, so I don't really get to use the tablet. I'm locked in on the headphone and that piece. So me personally, I can't give you a handle as to, you know, how it fits, but because I'm so busy utilizing it off the headset, which to this point has been a non-issue.
But you need to do the improve special teams, specifically kickoff coverage, kick return coverage.
Well, we had one big mistake, you know, where we didn't fold in with the 2 guys, and Ben's working real hard on trying to get that straight. And you know, there's a couple ways of doing it. Either there's different models and styles of kicks that you can use: the sky kick, the you know, the muddle on the ground. You know, there's just several styles. You just got to go what's the best style for your guy. Now, week 1, he kicked off pretty darn well. Week 2, not so much. So we got to get this guy just to have CJ to get some continuity. But the one thing you got to be careful of with kickers in general, but you can't really, you don't want to rattle his cage where he has no confidence. That's not what you're looking for. So you've got to make sure you do it the right way.
Well, you mentioned CJ. What do you think of, since you've been, what do you think of him as a player and his mental fortitude in that aspect?
I think he's a great kid. I think he works real hard. I think he takes his craft really importantly, and I see him getting this thing corrected this week.
We talked
And
about,
you know, we've already had that now. Our field goal kicker had 3 field goals the other day. You know, and that's where you gotta watch what you do now, because you go ahead and you know, rip him, and you're ripping him, and you're ripping him, and you're ripping him, and he goes in there like this. I mean, you know, when their eyes are wide open, you know you got a problem. So, you know, we're not doing that.
if there's one thing, we talked about it last week, and I noticed Tyson got sacked 5 times. You guys did not get a sack. Is that a
Yeah, but
bigger?
we had 6 quarterback knockdowns. Now, their style of pass game this week was, you're not going to get many sacks. And they know we're coming. So we had 6 knockdowns. Guess what? After a couple knockdowns, he was So, you know, that's where you gotta, you know, you just can't say, oh, you're gonna blitz them. Well, you better know what the heck you're doing, because there's different styles of throws, and the quick get it out. You know, you just gotta use your head on the style of throws. But like I said to you, six knockdowns last Saturday. You know, is that a good day? Yeah, it's a good day. And you know, so we feel like we're going in the right direction there.
On the offensive side, how many of them were coverage sacks, and how many, you know, and how many of them was just pressure that they got through?
I'd say a little of both. You know, you just got to do a good job of diagnosing it, evaluate your protections between series, and you know, if you need to put them on the move, you put them on the move. And we did some of that, you know, where we got into the play action mode, and that seemed to be helpful. And really, you know, it's I don't know what it said. It said 4 or 5 sacks or something. And it really wasn't the case, because we were literally running the ball, not throwing the ball, running it, and they got tackled. Well, that's not a sack. So
Questions from Zoom?
just clearing it up. That's all.
Any questions from Zoom?
Hey, Coach, I just have one real quick for you. Thank you. So I thought Jacoby and Jaquan played really well on Saturday. Can you kind of speak to them kind of stepping up, especially like in the wide receiver room where some of your guys, you know, like Anthony Simpson just had another catch again, and, you know, Dominic wasn't really too involved. So can you just speak a little bit to how well they played, especially Jacoby coming in as a transfer?
Yeah, I thought both of those guys, I was totally elated and excited for both guys, because they're hard workers, they love the game, and you know, it was nice to see them reflect positively on the field, because there's your test. Do you want more time? You better play well when you're on the field, and both of them did. So that was good to see, and good for us, good for them.
Hey, Coach. So, past 2 years, UMass has finished bottom 10 in penalties per game, after 10 against Eastern Michigan and 9 against Toledo in a similar spot. What are you doing to address that?
All I can tell you is we're definitely addressing it. I have a presentation today when I start our meeting and review of Saturday's game. Kind of go through it all, point out the negatives of it, and what the negative impact that it has on our drives, and so that's what we're doing, and we'll work hard at it. You know, we got a lot. You know, the tough thing is we got a lot of new faces. I'm not saying they're freshmen. I'm not saying they're sophomores. I'm saying we got a lot of new faces that some of them are playing really for their first times. And, you know, obviously we just got to keep pecking away and keep it instructional, but at the same time, you know, take care of our business. So that's what we're doing.
Any other questions for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you.